You still ain't got your tea. You still full of all that stuffing and dressing and all that other unhealthy stuff. You know you need to detox. Drop down in the description box below and get you some of this tea and this NutriBurst girl so you can feel better and look better. Bah! So look, girl, y'all been blowing me up about this Love and Marriage Huntsville video. I know I'm late. I know I've been coming normally immediately following the episode, but I had a whole lot going on this weekend, earlier this week, and y'all gonna fall out when you find out what it was. Wanna talk about it? Here you go. Now, so girl, listen, I was so excited when I rolled over out my bed this morning and watched Love and Marriage Huntsville because y'all had been blowing me up, telling me that this episode was everything. And when I tell you, Miss Wanda J. Blige, she came through, she showed up, and she showed out, and it made me want to shout. We're going to talk about it. But look, let me apologize to y'all. This Saturday, I had a friend that had a birthday party the night that the show came on. I didn't get home till late. Of course, I was hungover. Sunday is my day or whatever. I don't work on a Sunday. That's the Lord's day. That's my brunch day. That's my bottomless mimosa day, so on and so forth. Monday, I had to help a family member with some moving tasks, find a new place to live, so I was out and about all day. I didn't get home till about 4 p.m. At that point, it didn't even make no sense. That's like working a 9 to 5, then you show up at your job. You tell your job you coming in late, but then you show up at 4 o'clock and you get off in an hour. So Monday, I just wrote Monday off because it didn't make no sense for me to clock in. And then Monday night, I was having a hard time sleeping. I ended up taking a trazodone, y'all, last night at around 1 o'clock in the morning, thinking that I would not be groggy at 8. I woke up this morning, ate breakfast, I watched Love and Marriage Huntsville, and I'm literally laying in the bed. I'm trying to get up to do the doggone video, and I just couldn't. It is now 4:23 p.m. and I'm finally feeling like myself, feel like I can get up and do some work. But I got something for y'all. In exchange for me being late on the line, I'm gonna go ahead and let y'all know this. In about 30 minutes, I will be interviewing the Scott sisters, Tisha, Kimmi, and Letitia Scott. I think I'm going to scream it live to the thing. So we're going to have it all going on with what's going on in Love and Marriage Huntsville. We're going to get all the tea. But let's just jump right on down into this episode. So the episode opens up with Mel visiting Martell at Black. Now we're going to pause right here. Let me tell y'all something. For all you gender role people, because you know when we get down with the housewives and stuff, we always, you know, Peter being a bitch and the men being in women business. And if you got a problem with the man, then you supposed to talk to the wife, and the man should never cuss out a woman. Let me tell you something. If Martell would have cussed the fuck out of Melanie, he would not have been wrong. Melanie was all kinds of wrong for confronting Marsau with that bullshit, okay? Now listen, I get it. She was mad. She felt away, whatever the case may be. But she stepped outside of the coverage of protection that her husband, the man, could provide for her, stepped into a man's territory, loud, obnoxious, ponytail swinging like she in a Beyonce video doing all of that. And I'm here to tell you, I rarely agree with Marsau. I respect the fact that he's so straightforward and decisive in the way he thinks, and he's a better man than I'll ever be. Because I would have cussed Melanie ass out from A to goddamn Z. I'd have made that scallywag heifer run her ass back to her car. How dare you run up in here with that bullshit? And the fact, and see, this is the issue that I have with gender roles sometimes, how you ladies abuse them. Because what Mel did was so emasculating. She walked in feeling like she was going to check him. And she rolled out on the privilege of her being a female and Marsau being one of those traditional type guys that believe a woman and a man have their roles, and that he was not going to cuss her out or he wasn't going to fight her. Baby, you had the right one. Because had you rolled up on Quentin Antoine Latham with that, all 37 inches of that blonde Yankee straight probably would have been scattered all over the front of the people goddamn parking lot, okay? The people would have been trying to cancel my lease from littering Yankee hair all across their damn parking lot. I'd have had the people all next door in the plaza complaining about what the fuck was going on. Why was these screens of gold hair? I would have rolled that shit up like this, like toilet paper, and drug her ass the fuck up out my establishment. I wouldn't have needed no security. That did not sit well with me. Now, the thing that threw me, right, as they're talking and they're going back and forth, listen, you know, each family has the right to have their perspective about what it is that's going on. Marsau says that he filed a police report because Martell threatened his life. Martell and Melanie believe he did it just to cause damage to them in the media. The truth probably lies somewhere in the middle. What I didn't like was when Melanie was like, Marsau said, such and such, your husband threatened my life. Prove it. Prove it. But then when Marsau told her to prove her allegation, she just got all in her feelings. I don't know. The whole thing just felt very one-sided, and Mel was wrong as fuck. That's getting exhausting. Let me move on. So Tish moves, excuse me, my throat. Tish starts to talk to Marsau about, you know, having a party and having Kimmi over. And Marsau's like, don't do that. Don't do that. Now, did y'all catch that? Because it felt like Tish led with, Kimmi has been hanging out with Melanie, so now I want to do something for Kimmi to hang out with me. That's really what it felt like. And Marsau was like, don't do that. Don't do that. And he ends up sharing with Tisha how Mel came to black. And that's when Tisha was supposed to get in her car and drive around Mel's house and fight her on the porch in front of her kids the way ghetto Alabama girls do for running up on her husband. See, the times we need Miss Wanda, she's silent and nowhere to be found. Then she provides all this unsolicited aggression and hostility when it's not needed. See, there's a purpose for Miss Wanda. If they learn how to channel all her Wanda J. Bligeness where it belongs, the world will be a better place. Millie comes over and discusses the voting thing that Kimmi wants to do. I love it. I love, you know, last year we had Kimmi trying to do something for the community. I forgot what it was. Get your blood pressure checked or something. This season she's trying to do the whole blood pressure, voters registration situation. And you could see the setup here, that it was a potential setup to get everybody in the same damn room. Well, at least Millie suggested. She said the comeback group, and Kimmi said, hell no. Yeah, I think it's a good idea that they probably don't. So Mama Holt comes over. Mama Holt said, baby, she fancy free and footloose. She ain't finna be nobody's nanny or they mammy. I know that's right, baby. She said she done raised her kids. She said she finally got some extra cigarette money for a Michelob and a pack of Benson and Hedges that she can enjoy without wondering which bills she don't have to pay or working 2 jobs. She said, no ma'am, bitch, she finna go down to the cafe, have her a good time, dance, cut a rug. And she said, like Vanessa said, baby, she grown and she wanna come home and have her little piece of one night stand on video. That's what she gonna do. But what she know for a fact that she ain't gonna do is quit her job, sell her house, move in and take care of nobody goddamn kids. Mama Holt, you all right with me. I like Mama Holt. I like Mama Holt a whole lot, believe it or not. I like her a lot. Her and Martell sit down and start talking. And you know, I made it a vow this season to not let my disdain for Mel and Martell's situation and the way they aggravate the shit out of my soul sometime to cloud me from seeing the human side of them. And I will say, I enjoyed seeing Martell sit down and talk with his mom. It helped me understand him a little more, especially when he was talking about, you know, not having his father in his life and just how things may have been different for them and different for him and just different esteem issues that could have arisen as a result of his father not being present. You know, at that point, I saw a vulnerable, you know, wounded little boy at Martell, which humanized him and made him more likable for me, because you begin to understand, how and why he ticks and what makes him the way he is. And I think a lot of that pompousness and that arrogance and that vibrato and that braggadociousness, if that's a word, comes from some of that deep-seated insecurity that may be tied to some of his dad. And I'm not calling him an insecure man. We all have insecurities based on whatever reason. But it just felt good. Now, one thing I agree with Mama Hope, she was like, listen, I have no ties to your daddy. And you're grown. Therefore, I have no reason, incentive, or right to call him and tell him anything about coming to see these kids. That's your pawpaw. That's your pappy. You call him. I ain't got no relation with him, and I'm with her. She like, shit, this nigga don't put me through enough. He done went off to prison and left me with a damn child, number one. I'm done. I am done with that part of my life. I want some peace. I am not inviting that heartache back in my life. I know that's right. Goodbye, heartache. Hello, love. Mel meets with Kimmi. One thing that I love about Kimmi is that she always does a good job on... She knows how to choose her words. And she knows how to do it in a way that's non-adversarial but stern and to the point. And I know that it may have been a challenging conversation for her and Mel both to have. And I love the way Mel handled the conversation. But Kimmi says, I feel like security was a bit much. And I do too. Like, I've been seeing the comments and we've all been talking. And yes, they were not friends. Yes, they were beefing. Yes, Tisha was not invited. Yes, for all intents and purposes, Tisha crashed the party. But when you get security on somebody, it's normally because they cutting a fool or they're a threat. And some people could argue, well, she didn't know what Tisha was going to come there and do, but we know Tisha well enough to know that Tisha wasn't finna come there and show her goddamn ass. Tisha barely got a damn voice in her goddamn household, so we know she was not finna come to this lady event and show her damn ass. I think the human side of us can all agree, regardless of fault, security was a bit much. So then Mel goes into, I felt some type of way because you left Kimmi. And I felt like by leaving with Tisha, you chose a side. And here's the thing, right? By default, Kimmi didn't choose a side. A side had been chosen for her. That is her sister. So by virtue of the relationship, her feelings and well-being are going to take priority to Mel's. That's just what it is. You're a friend. Our husbands are married. I have to see her at all the family functions. There has to be peace in my household and peace within my family unit and acceptance within my family unit. A friend, you're worth being sacrificed for family. That's just how it goes, and I think it's unreasonable. I think it is unreasonable for you to assume that on any given day of the week that your feelings are going to be prioritized above Tisha. I think that Mel is setting herself up for heartbreak if that is her expectation. While Tisha did not have to leave, while Kimmi did not have to leave the event, Mel, you didn't have to call security. You know what I'm saying? So we could throw around until the Saints come marching in what somebody shoulda and shouldn't have did. You know what I'm saying? That dart goes both ways. But Kimmi did the right thing, because what does home look like? Your sister just got wounded and you just stood there and did nothing. That creates a whole nother set of issues that supersede Melanie and Martell's feelings. Mel said something very poignant when she said, I question can you just be my friend over here and her friend and family over there? Can you do it? You know, that's a hard request to ask somebody, Mel. Especially with y'all beefing the way y'all are beefing, meaning Tisha and Mel. That is very hard. And I like Kimmi's response. She was like, I don't like being in the middle. I don't want to be in the middle. Here it is. Once again, I showed up at an event, minding my own damn business like I always do, and happened to get up in the middle somehow. And I like Kimmy's confessional response. She was like, you know, I guess that we're just going to continue to find ourselves in these sticky situations. And that's the God honest truth. I do like the fact that Mel expressed she no longer wants Kimmi to try to build a bridge between them, and Kimmi has expressed that she has given up on trying to do so. Martell and his dad, they had a very great conversation, right? I love how Martell, through therapy, is able to talk to his father about what his emotional needs are, you know, what the needs of his children are, so on and so forth. But I'm here to shed a little enlightenment. You know, I don't know this man from a can of paint, but when I look at Martell's father, I get Otis that hang out at the corner store that's always smoking a cigarette and got a beer in a brown bag and be chilling and playing dominoes and checkers up at the store down to the cafe. I think a large part of the reason why Martell's father is so easily able to be absent is because, for whatever reason, he's not bonded to Martell. Well, not for whatever reason, he was absent during that formative bonding stage that a child and a father, a child and a mother should have. He's not bonded to Martell. So because he's not bonded, he feels no obligation from a hard place to be there. Coupled with the fact that there's probably a level of guilt and that's very uncomfortable for his father. Coupled with the fact that because he's been locked up so long, he probably doesn't even know how to exist in a family unit situation where I feel guilty about my son over here. I wasn't a father to him, but I now have this obligation to be a grandfather to these kids of a man that I'm not even bonded to. Like, you know, does that make sense? There's a lot going on right there, and I'm here to tell you, when he was talking to Martell, I hate to say it, but it just felt like booty chatter coming out his mouth. It felt like a lot of lip service. It just did. I wasn't buying it, and I was like, you know what, Martell, this is a situation where you need to guard your heart and protect your children as well, and kind of let Otis go on and do whatever it is he gonna do. Mel starts planning a party and talking to Martell about wanting to invite Tisha and Marsau's children. You know, rarely do I agree with Martell, but I was with him when he was like, how the hell they gonna get there? I'm not talking to their parents, and I'm one of those people, if I'm throwing an event, spending my money for me or my family member, this is not work. I'm not spending my money to be in a situation where I got to walk on eggshells and fake cordiality with folks and be uncomfortable and be in different corners of the room where I'm paying my money. That's not going down like that, and I think it is easier to just gradually fade Tisha and Marsau's children out of the lives of the two kids, because on one token, y'all don't mess with each other, but then y'all are creating reasons to continue to be in contact with each other. It's just a recipe for disaster. It's a recipe for disaster. And Martell was right. You know, in a perfect world, you would bring the, you know, maybe Miss Wanda could have brought the kids or the grandparents. But, you know, Miss Wanda's not the best person to bring the kids over. And Kimmi don't want to be in the middle of it. That creates a whole nother situation. Because I honestly thought Mel was going to ask Kimmi to bring the children over. But if you are going to invite the children, I can say I do respect the level of maturity that Mel exercised and said, listen, just because we're not getting along doesn't mean it has to affect our children. And that was very big of her. Tisha wasn't here for that phone call, though. Baby, Tisha and that ponytail and that fresh face, no makeup, was not here for that ponytail. Tisha was sitting there all of like, bitch, get off my line. Like, why is this hoe even calling me? Or I respect Mel for doing it, though. You know, it definitely would have been one of those situations where if I was Tisha, I probably would have dropped the kids off and then came back for him. I definitely feel like their friendship is at a place where she can trust her children to be there with the other adults and not necessarily have to be in the mix. Either that or just sat in a corner somewhere and played on the damn phone. It looks like on the next episode, though, it's going to create a reason for them to sit down and talk, and that's probably going to go all awry again and again and through. Nevertheless, so we get down to the dinner, the Clash of the Titans, honey. Tisha invites everybody over. Marsau cooks, and Kimmi, Monster, Maurice, and their son, and Kimmy's oldest son, only son, walks. I forgot his name. Forgive me. Walks to Jalen. Walks through the door, and they get ready to sit down and have dinner. Dun 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 dun! Then the guests from hell arrived, baby. Wanda J. Blige came through, baby, promoting for her next album, A Mess. Let me tell you when you know somebody messy. When they get the mess started before they even put their pocketbook down. See, most women, they come around people's house. It's Tisha, girl, put my pocketbook in your bedroom. Put my pocketbook up. Where can I put my pocketbook? Pocketbook. Miss Wanda J. Blige got the shit started with her pocketbook on her arm. Let me tell you something. Wanda is a producer's best friend. Because I'm going to tell you what happened. Wanda pulled up. Wanda got out their car. The producers told Wanda, we need you to talk about how you feel some type of way about that reunion. Wanda said, I got it. Because the shit came completely out of nowhere. As many times on this show already as Wanda had done seen Kimmi, now all of a sudden she got an issue about Kimmi throwing Tisha under the bus. And here is where I have an issue with Tisha. In that kitchen scene, what I saw was a mother bear fighting for her child, right? Like, I really do feel like Miss Wanda's delivery may be wrong, but I do feel like it comes from the most loving of places when it comes to protecting her daughter. What I have issue with is Tisha being complicit in her silence. Because I noticed Tisha never once refuted anything that was coming out of Miss Wanda's mouth. She never once tried to stop Miss Wanda. It almost felt as if Tisha and Wanda had a conversation in the background, but Tisha don't have the balls to say it. So Miss Wanda sat there and said it all. And then even when Kimmi tried to say, well, hold on, they used to hang out without me too, Tisha sided with Wanda saying, with the kids. It's like you sat there, you allow your mama to berate your friends and your husband, and you do nothing about it. It's almost if you're in agreement with it. And not almost, you are. And that's going to cause a lot of problems, because somebody going to end up cussing your mama the fuck out. And then turn around and cuss your ass out too. And Kimmi is better than me, because I'd have wore Miss Wanda ass out. I'd have let her know I didn't drive all the way over here in the rain for this shit. And Tisha, you should have warned me if you was going to have your mama come in here and ambush me and not say nothing about it. The same way, Tisha, that you have an expectation for Marsau to defend you when he's around the Holts and other damn people, I think people expect you to defend them when your mama goes on the attack. Like, Miss Wanda is all types of out of line, and I'm sorry, the only reason why Tisha does not check her behavior is because Tisha empowers Miss Wanda's behavior. I see right through that bullshit. It's passive aggressiveness at its finest. Tisha needs to find her damn voice, and her mama needs to stop treating her like she's a 12-year-old and like she's a grown-ass woman with damn kids that can defend herself. Somebody needs to get Miss Wanda some snuff and some gin and tell her to sit her ass the fuck down. And then you would think after they segue into the damn kitchen, out of the kitchen to the damn dinner table, that things would get better, and things get worse, because then Miss Wanda goes on the attack, attacking Maurice and Kimmi once again for wanting to do this voters registration thing. And then she laid Marsau out for not handling the situation the way she would have. It's like, Miss Wanda, you are problematic. You are all types of wrong. Marsau was completely right when he was wearing her ass out about good thing. You are not these children's mom and dad. We're their parents. We will do what we want to do with them. Miss Wanda is very country and old school with her conflict resolution. And don't get me wrong, I come from my people from Mississippi and Georgia. So I come from that same tutelage. I see so much of Miss Wanda and so many of my grandmothers and aunts and mama it's ridiculous. So I completely get it. I completely get it. I got family now that live in Huntsville. So I completely get it. But Miss Wanda, we live in 2020 and people don't carry on like that no more. And this ain't I can't be down with the Holts because the Tisha, that's Tisha issue, Tisha and Mel issue. Tisha ain't 100% innocent in this damn issue, so they expect these people to just blindly follow behind Tisha and her voiceless ass. It's just ridiculous. This was a really good episode, y'all. You know, Maurice wasn't having it with Wanda's ass. Because she was like, what was the word she used? Phony? She was like, what phony how? Like, Maurice wanted to get down to the root of that shit. And then Tisha knew, let me come out with this cake to keep everybody from jumping my mama. Because Miss Wanda's ass was about to get put out on her ass in the goddamn rain. Oh, baby, I can't wait. I got 15 minutes to this interview. We're going to have to get down to the bottom of what's going on. I'm going to ask Tisha these questions about her mama. Because we want to know what the hell going on or who beat her up on the playground all her life that Miss Wanda had to come fight her battles and still do. I'm going to get down to the bottom of it. That's all I got. Ain't got no more. Y'all be sure to like and subscribe. And I'll call y'all later. Sorry for being late. Bye.